Welcome to Eli Golds's Relationship Flow. We are going into some important weeks ahead in the relationship flow, and we're starting a new series thanks to the time we are in. It's going to be called Shovavim, and how we can come to a purer and happier relationship flow. This is an opportunity. Everybody who tunes in is welcome to share. I don't want to just talk to myself, even though that's definitely purposeful. And the few amount of people who so far have tuned in and been responsive, we appreciate it so much. But we'd like this to go out to a larger audience. Thank God I do have my other podcast, The Prayers of Israel, and the Unity Flow podcast, which do reach larger audiences. The relationship flow is still at a small level, being totally authentic and honest, transparency and all that stuff. I think it's important that the people who do listen in, which thank God there are, you do share it forth. So I see it out there and people are tuning in on a larger scale, so we can build up the momentum to make this more effective for myself and for everyone involved. And personally, I know right now that trying to have focus on relationships when, for example, in Israel, we're about to go into a 2-week lockdown starting next week, and it's been, already a challenging 2020, the general calendar, and we've been talking about it on my Unity Flow podcast about what we've got lined up for 2021, and hopefully it's going to be a lot of positive inspiration. We're already beginning the new week. As much as we're going into lockdown, we still, thank God, can get to our studio classes, and I also have the opportunity to join up with Jeff Pulver's community, the Pulver Redo, and do my first course online class. It would be about an hour around 5 p.m. Israel time, 10 a.m. US time, 3 p.m. UK time. It would be an opportunity to discuss what I feel is a big solution and is very much hinted to in the Parshias right now and in what we're reading in spiritual texts about united souls and being able to deal and cope with the divisive generation and challenges that we're going through thanks to Corona. This is an opportunity to bring that into the relationship level, especially with Shovavim approaching, with Parshas Vayigash coming up this Shabbos, a lot of Yichudim, a lot of unifications with Yosef and Yaakov and Binyamin, a lot of oneness and Shema Yisrael, that kind of focus. And then moving into the new Parshas Vayichi and Shabbos Chazak, which is already now the Erev Shovavim time, where we can really work on this purity. We already have Rav Shalom Morish's book, Garden of Purity, and we have, thank God, a lot of mystical texts out there which can help us purify our relationships a bit more, to hopefully cleanse ourselves. I mean, if the more I see from the world, the more I see how degraded and degenerate it's gone, and we can tune into a higher level experience, a bit more spiritual and elevated experience of how to process what we're dealing with nowadays. And it's something which every one of us has a insight on an inner level. As I was listening to many different people, and including one of Jeff Pulver's guests yesterday, about how we have a lot of the wisdom within. It's just a matter of being in touch with that. It's not some external workout. It's something very much to do with your inner values, your inner soul connection, and you have those tools and abilities and knowledge on the soul level that everyone knows on a deep level, if they're being genuine, authentic, if in their relationships and how they're doing everything. It's something which I try to stick to, even if sometimes it's, it's not an easy path to walk. But you have to be real, you have to be honest, and hopefully you're not hurting people's feelings with the honesty and the realness. It can be done with some bit more compassion on my side, for sure, sensitivity, something I need to work on. And thank God I have my soulmate to help me understand that. And if you're really in touch with these kind of values with the people around you, so then you won't get pulled off into false relationships, because your soulmate herself or himself will communicate what's real for them and will allow you to get a lot of insight in your relationships if you're able to listen to the other person and internalize some of the things they say. That's part of why, talking to Hashem, talking to God, taking, some sort of review system, having sort of mission statement, doing a lot of inner work gives a lot of clarity in your relationship, where it's heading, what your goals are, what you're trying to do together, and it strengthens the bond. So that when you come to the physical side of the relationship, which is what we're going to talk about over Shovavim over the next 6-7 weeks, just to explain now what Shovavim is, since we're already mentioning it a few times. Shovavim is the 6 parshas, the 6 Torah readings we're going to get to, not next week, the Shabbat Chazak, V'yichi, but the 6 weeks after that, when we enter the new book of Exodus, or Shmos, which is what we're going to call it. Shmos is connected to names, and it's a very intense journey for the Jewish people in Egypt, and there's a lot of representation with our relationship with the Torah and God in what relationships should aspire for, especially when going into such a place like Egypt, which is the opposite of that. A lot of distraction, a lot of slavery, a lot of falsity and desires. A false relationship is going on in Egypt, and the job of the Jewish people was to go there and to purify themselves and to move out of that place in a way that they come to that ultimate unification by receiving the Torah. And that is those 6 weeks from Shmos, V'Yeira, Bo, B'Shalach, Yisro, and Mishpatim. Those 6 parshas, 6 Torah readings have the first letter, which is Shin, Vav, Beis, Yud, Mem. Those 6 first letters of those 6 names of the parsha is Shovavim, which also means to return. So it's a certain correction time where a person can really get in touch with their relationship with their soulmate, with their So, as we were saying, I received a call, thank God, for a mazel tov for our wedding and bar mitzvah that just was before Hanukkah. It was very nice to talk to an old friend that lives somewhere in Israel, not so far away, and hadn't had the really time to catch up with other people outside, thanks to the lockdown. And that's been another big part of this Corona flow, with the Corona challenge and the relationship flow, not the flow from Corona, God forbid, that the relationship with our Creator, with that and relationship with people and relationship with ourselves, because we have to, in the end, to be able to do anything, we have to have that belief in ourselves. That comes very much from the inner struggle of finding ourselves, getting more in touch with ourselves, not allowing a person to, or voices around us to dominate us and distract us from our personal mission and our purpose in this world, to keep that focus. And it was nice to just talk to an old friend, because they're also making, bar mitzvah, please God, soon. And you see from there the idea of letting go right now. Like we said, we're going into a 2-week lockdown. Even when we made our wedding, bar mitzvah had to be with a lot of restrictions, and everything was done through Zoom, online, for all the people outside of Israel, and even many people in Israel who couldn't attend. And it's an intense time in that respect, that we have to go with that flow of restrictions, but that is part of dealing with the Mitzrayim, the Meitzarim. It means restrictions. That's really what Egypt is on an inner level, the restrictions that take place. But being able to still find your flow in such a place, and to focus in on the real relationships that really matter, that are in front of you right this moment, being present, being focused, being available. And that's our hope, that during this next 6-7 weeks, we're going to do Shovavim, and we're going to prepare ourselves up towards Purim, which is very much connected, and is this year a very special one, because it's 3 days in Jerusalem. It's Purim Sholish. We're going to get a lot of inspiration from this time of year, and hopefully the reality that we're in, like we said, we're going online, we're doing the United Souls focus, we have the relationship flow focus, and it's a certain combination of a collaboration of different projects. And I put it in my blog post, which I'll put below, a nice summary of the year that was and the year to come, and the general calendar. And I'm looking forward to share our relationship flow together. So this is really more just an introduction class to what's coming, and it will be focused on different parts of relationships and of our relationships that need to be built on, each week a different focus. And I please invite you to share this and get it out to other people, and we'll hopefully see a lot of growth and a positive way, and clarifications of what relationships are truly about, so that we can really come to that unification, that oneness that we dream of when we're intimate, and when we're in our daily life, that it should be real and tangible and practical, and something that we should enjoy and have a lot of simchas and nachas from. Amen. Thank you for tuning in. Share your relationship flow.